How can you sell Zobo for 1,500 naira per bottle? That is punishment.
Give me the money or the house will not know peace today. Neighbor, good morning, oh.
Good morning, Mama Eze. How una dey?
If trouble had a name in Alhaji Musa compound on Okota Road, Lagos, it would answer to Mrs. Salome Rufus. Not because she was wicked, no. She was actually a woman full of energy and big dreams. The problem was that her dreams changed every single week like Nigerian weather. Unpredictable, loud, and always followed by storm. Number 7 Alhaji Musa compound was what the people of Lagos called Face Me, I Face You. A long stretch of rooms arranged on both sides of a shared corridor so narrow that if two people were quarreling and the neighbors wanted to mind their business, they would have to first move their ears from the wall. Nobody minded their business in this compound. Nobody even tried. There were 12 rooms in total, housing 12 families, 12 different problems, and one broken tap that everyone shared and blamed each other about. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind that smelt like boiling beans and yesterday's argument. The sun had barely shown its face when the voice of Mrs. Salome Rufus tore through the compound like a sound system at an Owambe party. Rufus, Rufus, I am talking to you. Are you now deaf? Mr. Rufus Ogala, a short, patient man with a small potbelly and the permanently tired eyes of a man who had seen too much, was sitting on his plastic chair in his one-room barbing salon at the entrance of the compound. He was trimming the edges of one customer's hair with the delicate concentration of a surgeon. He did not look up. "I have heard you, Salome," he said quietly. "You have heard me, and you are sitting there like a Statue of Liberty in America. I said I need 20,000 naira today."
Give me that 20,000 naira
The
today,
customer
whether
in
you
the
like it
chair,
or not.
a young man named Emeka, slowly shifted his eyes in the mirror to look at Mr. Rufus. Mr. Rufus gave him a look that said, "Please, my brother, just face front and allow me to survive this morning." From room 3, Mama Chioma opened her door a crack. From room 6, Baba Seun pretended to be sweeping his doorstep, but his broom had not moved an inch in 5 minutes. Auntie Ngozi, who sold groundnut by the window of room 9, paused mid-scoop. The compound had entered live broadcast mode. 20,000 naira for what again, Salome? Mr. Rufus called back, his voice still calm, still low, a man who had learned that volume never won anything against his wife. Salome marched out from their room in a yellow Ankara wrapper and matching head tie, arms folded across her chest, face set like a woman who had already made her mind before she even asked the question. "For my new business, Shea Butter. I saw it on Facebook. A woman in Abuja is making millions from it. Millions, Rufus. And she started with only 15,000 naira. I am even asking for 20 because I want to do it bigger." Silence. Then, "Salome, sit down. What happened to the crayfish?" She waved her hand like she was scattering flies. "That one, forget that one. You took 18,000 naira, traveled overnight bus to Calabar, came back with crayfish that smelled like the bottom of River Niger, and after 3 days you said forget that one. The market was not ready for my product. The market. Salome, you priced one cup at 800 naira. 800 naira for crayfish that your co-tenant can do without as long as the soup is colored with red oil. Maggi and salt have solved better problems in houses than crayfish ever would. The market was not the problem." By now, Mama Chioma had opened her door fully and was leaning on the frame with her arms folded, a small smile on her face. Baba Seun had abandoned all pretense and was now sitting on a bench, broom across his knees, fully comfortable. Auntie Ngozi had joined him. Even the 2 children playing in the corridor had stopped to watch. Salome drew herself up with great dignity. "And before the crayfish, what about your zobo?" "I made zobo for 3 weeks. "You made zobo and sold 2 bottles in 3 weeks because you priced each bottle at 1,500 naira and you were selling it in a compound where nobody earns up to 50,000 naira a month. Salome, that is not business. That is punishment." A chorus of muffled laughter floated in from the corridor. Salome spun around. The neighbors all suddenly found urgent reasons to look at the sky, the floor, their fingernails, every way but Salome. "All of you," she pointed, All of you mind your business. This is a private family conversation. Salome, said Mama Chioma from her doorway, unable to help herself. If it is private, why are you having it in the corridor? More laughter. Salome turned back to her husband, eyes blazing. Give me the money or this house will not know peace today. Mr. Rufus looked at Emeka in the mirror. Emeka looked back at Mr. Rufus. A silent agreement passed between them. The agreement of two men who understood that some battles were not fought with words, but with patience. I don't have it, Mr. Rufus said. And that was how the Tuesday War began.
Sweeties, I am excited to have you here. My name is Sisi Nana. I love telling African stories that are so relatable and full of moral lessons. Welcome on board new and returning subscribers. Feel free to support the channel as always. Be the first sweetie to drop your favorite character in the comment section. Are you ready? By Thursday, peace had returned to number 7 Al-Haji Musa compound, the uneasy kind of peace that follows a ceasefire where both parties are still armed but pretending to watch television. Mr. Rufus was in the salon when his old friend Biodun walked in. Biodun was a round man with a large laugh and the confidence of someone who had never lost an argument in his life. He sold phone accessories at Alaba International Market and considered himself an expert in many things, including marriage, business, and the correct way to eat eba. Rufus, my man, Biodun settled into the customer's chair and stretched out like it was a throne. Give me low cut and talk to me. You look like a man who has been carrying a generator on his head. Mr. Rufus sighed. The sigh came from somewhere very deep, possibly from 2019 when Salome had tried to start a catfish farming business in their bathroom. It is Salome, he said, and began to clip. What has she done now? And so it came out. Everything. The zobo, the crayfish, the content creation phase. Salome had bought a ring light, recorded 3 videos, got 12 views, 7 of which were Mr. Rufus checking if she said anything embarrassing, and then declared that the algorithm is not working. The Shea bought her dream. The way his barbing salon money was bleeding out every few weeks to fund the next bid idea that would collapse before it even had a name. Brother, he said, voice low so the corridor would not hear. I have told her, pick one thing, learn it, do it consistently, grow it slowly, but she will not listen. She says I am not ambitious. She says I want her to suffer. Meanwhile, I am the one suffering. Biodun sat quietly for a moment, which was unusual for Biodun. Then a slow smile spread across his face like groundnut oil on hot pap. I have an idea, Biodun said. What kind of idea? You know your neighbor, that woman who sells okpa, that woman in room 11? Mr. Rufus nodded. Mama Obi. Everybody in the compound knew Mama Obi. She was a quiet, round woman from Enugu who had been selling okpa, the dense, delicious Igbo bean cake, from her doorstep for the past 4 years. She woke up at 4 in the morning, prepared her okpa, wrapped them in leaves, and by 6:30 she was sold out. Then, about a year ago, she had quietly added raw foodstuffs, tomatoes, pepper, onions, dried fish, arranged neatly in baskets from in front of the yard. People from 3 streets away came to buy from her now. She never advertised on Facebook. She never traveled to Calabar at midnight. She just showed up every day. What about her? Mr. Rufus asked. Here is what you will do, Biodun said, and lowered his voice to a whisper. The plan was this. Biodun would come to the compound the following Saturday, loudly, publicly, in full view of the corridor, and tell Mr. Rufus, in a voice designed to be overheard, that he had heard of a woman in Al-Haji Musa compound who was doing very well in business and that he wanted to come and greet her and possibly invest in her business. He would not say Mama Obi's name immediately. He would say, that woman who started small and is now supplying to 3 estates. Then he would walk past Salome's door, go straight to Mama Obi, shake her hand, and give her a small envelope as a show of respect. Mr. Rufus stared at his friend. And what will this do? My friend, do you know your wife at all? The moment Salome hears that someone is getting investment and recognition and it is not her, something will wake up inside that woman. But this time, and this is the key, what she will see is not Facebook, not Calabar, not a ring light. What she will see is a woman right here in this compound, doing one simple thing consistently and winning. The lesson will not come from you. It will not come from me. It will come from her own eyes. Mr. Rufus was quiet for a long time. The clip of the scissors was the only sound. Then, Biodun, you are a genius. I know, Biodun said modestly, but add small barbing discount for me. The plan was set, and the compound, as always, was ready to watch.
Saturday morning in Alhaji Musa compound was its own kind of festival. Clothes hanging on lines, the smell of frying akara from somewhere, children chasing a ball, Baba Sheun already on his bench with his broom, ready for whatever the day would bring. Mama Chioma was washing in the corridor. Auntie Ngozi had her groundnut out early. At exactly 10 o'clock, Biodun arrived. He was wearing a senator that was slightly too new for a casual visit, and he was carrying himself like a man on important business. He greeted everyone at the entrance loudly. Good morning, God bless this compound. I am looking for a businesswoman. I heard there's a woman here who started small and is now supplying foodstuffs to 3 estates. Is it true? Mama Chioma looked up from her washing. Auntie Ngozi tilted her head. Baba Sheun sat up straighter, and from room 4, behind a slightly opened window, Salome Rufus heard every single word. Biodun continued. My madam at Alaba asked me to find this woman. She wants to talk about supplying arrangement, regular order, big order. Now, the corridor had a theory about which businesswoman he meant, and that theory was correct. It was Mama Obi. But for a few beautiful seconds, every woman in that compound allowed herself to wonder if it could be her, including in room 4, one Mrs. Salome Rufus. Her door opened. Good morning, sir, said Salome, stepping out in her best wrapper, voice like honey. Did I hear you say you are looking for a businesswoman? Biodun looked at her politely. Yes, ma. The one who sells okpa and now has the foodstuffs business. Very consistent woman. My madam said she knows her type. Somebody who sticks to one thing and perfects it. Salome's smile stayed on her face, but something shifted behind her eyes. Oh, Mama Obi. Yes, you know her. Please, can you direct me? Biodun pointed to room 11. She stood at her doorway and watched as Biodun walked down the corridor, knocked on Mama Obi's door, shook her hand warmly, said things she couldn't hear, and then, and this was the part that pierced through Salome's chest like a quiet arrow, handed Mama Obi a small yellow envelope. Mama Obi received it with 2 hands, modest, smiling, not performing. The whole compound watched, including Salome. Mama Chioma caught Salome's eye and looked away quickly, pretending to wring her cloth. Auntie Ngozi was suspiciously busy arranging groundnuts. Baba Sheun was looking at the sky. But nobody missed the expression on Salome's face. It was not anger. It was not jealousy exactly. It was something more complicated. The look of a woman who was, perhaps for the first time in a long time, actually thinking. Later that afternoon, Salome did something the compound had never seen before. She went and knocked on Mama Obi's door. Mama Obi said, Salome, standing at the threshold, I want to ask you something. That business, how did you do it?
Mama Obi looked at her for a moment, then smiled and moved aside. Come in. They talked for 2 hours. Mama Obi told her everything. How she started with just 300 naira worth of Bambara nut in 2020. How she almost quit after the first month. How her husband had told her to stop and she had refused. How she learned to wake up before the sun. How she reinvested every profit before touching it for personal use. How she added the foodstuffs only after the okpa was stable. She had not read it on Facebook. She had not traveled overnight for it. She had simply stayed. Every business has a foundation stage. That stage is not exciting. It does not make good content, but it is the only stage that makes everything else possible. Salome was quiet for a long time. When she came out, Mr. Rufus was in the salon watching from the corner of his eye and pretending to clean his clippers. Salome walked over and stood in his doorway. He looked up. I want to try something, but one thing, only one thing, and I won't ask you for capital. I will use what we have. Mr. Rufus blinked. In 17 years of marriage, this was a new sentence. He did not know what to do with it, so he simply nodded. What do you want to start? He asked carefully. Mama Obi's customer that buys tomatoes and pepper. She said the woman has been asking if there is somebody who can supply her with fresh tomatoes and pepper regularly, cheap, no middleman. And I want to be that person. She paused. I will wake up early. I will go to Mile 12 market. I will start small. Baba Shion, who somehow materialized near the salon, cleared his throat and looked at the sky. Mama Chioma, passing with a bucket, said, in a tone that meant, I am not saying anything, but I heard everything. Mr. Rufus stood up, walked to his wife and said 6 words he had not said in a long time. I believe in you this time. Salome did not cry. She was not that kind of woman, but she straightened her wrapper, lifted her chin and went back inside to plan. And that simple resolution alone stopped Mr. Rufus's high BP from skyrocketing through the terrible compound roof. In room 11, Mama Obi made herself a cup of zobo, the regular kind, 200 naira a bottle, and smiled to herself. And the compound, which had watched everything from the beginning, settled back into its Saturday rhythm, satisfied, because the compound always knew. It just waited for the right moment to teach. Moral of the story: chasing every opportunity is the fastest way to build nothing. True wealth is not born from big starts. It is built by consistent daily effort in one direction. The woman who stays wins. Stop starting over. Start staying. Many people are busy starting but never staying. They chase every new idea, every Facebook recommendation, every street gossip, and end up with nothing but wasted money and broken promises to themselves. True success does not come from starting 10 businesses. It comes from staying faithful to one. The woman who wakes up every day and shows up for her one thing will always outlast the woman chasing 10 things at once. Stop running after every opportunity. Plant one seed, water it daily, and trust the process. Consistency is not boring. It is the only path that actually leads somewhere. Did this story make you laugh and think? Share it with that one person in your life who has started 12 businesses in 2 years and needs to hear this message. And if you are that person, this is your sign. Pick one thing. Do it today. Stay with it. Sweeties, Sisi Nana loves you. If you have not liked, shared, subscribed, or left a comment, please do it now. Mrs. Salome is watching you from her window. Oh. The next story is even more interesting. Won't you love to watch?